Welcome into the Oklahoma's video studio on this beautiful Friday morning. Dave Morris here alongside Lauren Branch, the President and CEO of NewView Oklahoma, and Dale Shawn. He manages the fire hose production area. Dale, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
And Lauren, great to see you again.
As always.
We mentioned the fire hose production because that is one of the many opportunities that NewView Oklahoma provides, and it's amazing the level of production from that area that we're going to get into. But first of all, could you tell us about that program?
Sure. So NewView Oklahoma, as we've talked about before, is the largest employer of people who are blind in the state. And one of the products that we produce out of our manufacturing facility here in Oklahoma City are fire hoses for the US Forestry Service. And we have been the sole supplier of hoses to the US Forestry Service since around 2001. And interesting little tidbit, last year we produced about 4,000 miles of hoses, so stretch across the United States and back to Oklahoma City.
That is amazing. How did you guys get into this?
It's kind of funny. In my role, I do a lot of business development, and so actually I was looking for a new product for us to do, and I thought that we could do like garden hoses, the old vinyl.
How did you think of that?
Well, it was something that the government bought. It looked like something, we were looking for product diversity or whatever. So I started researching it. So when I was reaching out for suppliers to supply vinyl fire hose, a gentleman reached out to me and said, "Hey, we don't do vinyl hoses, but we do fire hoses and we sell to the government. Do you think there's an opportunity for us to work together on that?" It took me several years
I bet,
to put the project together and to be able to get everything qualified and rolling. And once we did, we've been doing it ever since.
That is amazing and great stuff. We have a map of current US wildfires going on in August of 2017. It's big business.
It is big business. We are at
look at that.
We are at fire level 5 right now.
What does that mean?
It is the highest.
Sounds serious.
It is the high. It's the highest level. We've got a lot of fires burning. It really is critical. They're in critical conditions out there. I've learned a lot about the fire industry since we started making fire hoses. The contract is we sell them. The end customer is the US Forest Service generally, but this is a Department of Defense issue. This is a emergency management. The contracts go through Department of Defense, and they take national emergencies very seriously. And so we really have to step up to the plate to be able to perform on this contract, and quite frankly, it is a priority in our agency. When they ask us to do something, we jump through hoops to make sure that it's done, to make sure that our firefighters on the front line have the resources that they need to take care of the fires.
Bringing Dale Shawn at this point, as I mentioned, he manages the fire hose production area. Dale, how long have you worked with NewView?
I started with NewView in the 1st of June, and within a few weeks I had learned every job on the floor, and then they put me in charge of testing the hoses, which every hose is tested to specs and quality, so that, again, we ensure that they're getting the hoses that they need, they're getting the resources that they need in order to protect people and save lives. And after a few weeks of testing, they asked, how would you like to try department lead? And I said, tell me what I need to do.
You're like, yes, I would.
So it's been a steep learning curve, but it's been a wonderful experience, and I have a wonderful team that I work with, and again, my job is to support them and to make sure they have what they need so they can build the product and get it out, and they make my job pretty easy.
Pretty good quality work coming out of there.
Yeah. There is. I'd put us up against anyone.
There's checks everywhere along the process, and every person, if they're handling a hose, they're checking the quality from the very beginning to the end of testing.
Dale, what did you do before this job?
What did I do before this job? I was actually a massage therapist for around 8 years.
Gotcha.
And self-employed, ran my own business, and so it got to where I was handling all the accounting and everything that involved, and it wasn't challenging anymore. And when I started with NewView, I wanted something challenging, but I also wanted something where I was going to be helping people or providing a service that would help improve quality of life, or anything that could help save lives. And so when I got with NewView, I asked to start in hoses and learn as much as I can, and here we are today.
Good for you. And Lauren, I guess this is right in your wheelhouse of what you're wanting to provide, that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously Dale is a superstar. You know, I mean, he came to us, and I think, you know, one of the things that Dale said to me is, you know, he was also looking for a little bit more, you know, stability and consistency because he's got, Dale's got a couple of kids, and one of them is, you know, a 10-month-old. So he really wanted.
Oh, you got your hands
yeah,
full, Dale.
yeah. I mean, being self-employed is, you know, I mean, that's a tough gig.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, and so we were very happy to be able to provide the opportunity for Dale. Unfortunately, you know, and Dale can speak to this a little bit, it's hard for people who are blind or visually impaired to find meaningful employment.
That was my next question.
Yeah, and obviously, Dale is smart and capable and would do well anywhere, but there still are a lot of barriers to employment. And so I'm going to let Dale talk a little bit about that.
Well, NewView is a place that was created to offer employment for the blind and visually impaired, and it's a wonderful opportunity. And these aren't just, you know, cookie cutter jobs. These are real hard-working jobs that not everybody can do. And yet, again, like I said, I have a wonderful team that I work with, and everybody I've met at NewView is very hardworking, puts in their hours, and makes sure the quality of their work is above or exceeding the standards that we need to meet. And something I've told my supervisors, I've noticed a lot of the jobs are adapted that where if you're looking at what you're doing, if you're sighted, it's actually an impediment, because you're not able to perceive the quality that we do if you're looking at it. You actually have to get your hands in the job and actually feel what you're doing.
Walk us through that a little bit. What are you feeling, and what are you feeling for?
Well, the whole workplace is adapted for the blind and visually impaired. Like I said, we do have some sighted material handlers that help us get the goods where we need them.
Gotcha.
For like the raw materials to work with the
Some
hose.
logistics there. Here it is.
Right, but it's basically, here's the things you need, but the whole line, the whole construction of the hose is done by the blind and visually impaired. And checking those hoses where the couples meet the hose, make sure they're sealing each time, but that couple is checked every spot on the line, not just when it's first put on, it's checked before it's even boxed. And that kind of diligence and that kind of care when it comes to quality is very important. And when they were first showing me how to check a hose, of course I brought it up here and I looked at it, and they're like, no, actually reach in and feel what's going on. And they actually handed me a bad hose at one point because they want to show you what to look for if something's wrong. And you could look at it all day long and you wouldn't find it. But as soon as you put your fingertips on it, you could find the spot where it would leak. And so that's the kind of care that we take with every single hose.
Lauren, how many employees? Are you looking for more?
We're always looking for more. Yeah, so organizationally, we employ about 150 individuals. We have about 90 individuals who are blind who work here in Oklahoma. So, I mean, and that doesn't sound like a lot. And I said we're the largest employer of people who are blind in the state. Tremendous need to, for others to consider the capabilities of people who are blind or visually impaired and think about offering job opportunities. I mean, we just can't, we'll never be able to get there. We can't employ everybody. It's just not possible. And so we really need people to step up and consider employing people who are blind also.
You can find more information on the website, newviewoklahoma.org, which is right there. Dale, what would you like people to know about individuals who are blind or visually impaired?
The biggest thing is we can do any job that anybody else can do. It only takes a little adaptation, if any at all. And like I said, some jobs can actually be performed better by the blind in some cases.
And final question for you, Dale, what do you like most about working at NewView?
The people I'm working with and the respect that the jobs get. When you're blind and visually impaired and you get employed, you're not put in jobs that they respect your work and they have a lot of care for that. NewView provides that, the same standard of work for anybody, whether you're blind, visually impaired, or fully sighted. It's all met with the same standard, the same respect, and the same quality, and I really like that.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't said it any better myself.
No doubt. We'll end it right there. Again, more information, newviewoklahoma.org. Dale, Sean, very nice to meet you.
Nice to
Congrats
meet you,
on
sir.
everything. Lauren, as always, good to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.